The Aviator is a biographical film about the life of Howard Hughes from the year 1927 to 1947. Howard Hughes was born on December 24, 1905, in Houston, Texas. He died on April 5, 1976. After inheriting a large fortune from his deceased parents at the age of 18, Hughes decided to use his inheritance to fund his passions of film and flight. This is where our story begins, on the set of Hughes' first film, Hell's Angels. Hughes was so obsessed with getting the film exactly right that it took over 3 years to release the movie. Hughes released 2 other films as well. He released Scarface in 1932 and The Outlaw in 1941, both of which are featured in the movie. During the 9-year period between film releases, Hughes purchased Trans-World Airlines in pursuit of his love of aeronautics. Using Trans-World Airlines, Hughes made it his mission to make air travel the best it could be for the everyday man. He worked to make commercial planes and transport planes for the military during World War II. Sadly, his obsession with fancy airplanes and lack of common sense when it came to managing the airline, Trans-World Airlines was not under Mr. Hughes' management for very long, and eventually the airline went bankrupt in 1992. Throughout the film, we see an array of famous women dating Mr. Hughes, including Katharine Hepburn, Ava Gardner, and Jean Harlow. Hughes had a long and loving relationship with Hepburn, but it ended when Howard began to spiral into a world of trouble. As portrayed in the movie, the two lived together and were engaged to be married when Katharine ended their relationship. Howard was being swept up in the world of Hollywood and was going around to premieres with other women. Howard's relationship with Ava Gardner was also portrayed in the movie, but the film did not show the backstory of the affair. Gardner was freshly married when she started seeing Howard Hughes. In the movie, they don't mention any husband, but they do show a caring and passionate relationship between the two, which is proven to be accurate. Throughout the film, we see TWA's rivalry with Pan Am Airlines, owned at the time by Juan Tripe. Mr. Hughes started a battle for the skies with Tripe when a bill was proposed in the Senate that Pan Am would be the only international airline available in the United States. This battle lasted many years and even led to a court hearing about the management of Trans-World Airlines and Howard Hughes. Hughes was very aggressive during the hearing and eventually ended it all by questioning the motives of Senator Brewster, who was in charge of the hearing and proposed the bill that was being argued over. One of the main themes throughout the movie is Hughes' struggle with his mental health. Most likely learned from his mother, Howard Hughes suffered from germophobia and OCD his entire life. He was often unable to function properly if things were out of place or not to his liking. During the film, we see this very accurately represented in several scenes, especially when they show Howard Hughes living in the screening room at MGM Studios. This was Hughes' first major seclusion before he became a complete recluse in his later days.
Come in with the milk, 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 come in with the milk. He is to open the bag with his right hand and hold the bag out to me at a 45-degree angle so I may reach into the bag without touching the paper.
Hughes' most famous endeavor was the Hercules, more popularly known as the Spruce Goose. The plane was made to replace submarines carrying supplies and weaponry to American troops fighting in Europe during World War II. Although Hughes was able to get the plane into the air, it took an incredibly long time to build the colossal plane, and by the time it was proven that the Spruce Goose could fly, the war was over and the military didn't need it anymore. The Spruce Goose would forever be seen as a huge waste of money, but still as an impressive accomplishment for the time period. The movie ends with the landing of the Spruce Goose. Hughes is excited to start new projects, but is caught off guard by his OCD and has to be hidden from the paparazzi until he calms down. That is where we leave Mr. Hughes, desperately trying to keep himself from repeating the phrase, "the way of the future," over and over again.